Hi guys, this is 15 Minutes with Rocky. Today I want to talk to you about something that's dear to my heart, and that is being proactive. Okay? I got my notes. So what is being proactive? I looked it up for you, and basically it says if you are proactive, you make things happen. And I like that a lot. Instead of waiting for them to happen to you. It says controlling a situation, and I love the word controlling. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to highlight it right here. Just controlling a situation, right? When you make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And it says here, controlling a situation by causing something to happen rather than waiting to respond to it after it has happened. And that's basically, we think about preparation. Now, proactive is basically one of the keys to success that I like to teach about, or that I like to use in my life, because it has given me a lot of leverage, in my success in business and so on and so forth, in social life and so on and so forth. Now, you want to definitely, in business, you want to be able to separate yourself from the herd, right? And Seth Godin, the marketer, internet marketer, and he's just great. He talks about a purple cow, right? So in business, you want to be the purple cow that separates themselves from the herd so that you can be noticed, right? You want to be noticed. Now, there are sometimes when you don't want to be noticed, obviously, for survival instinct. So for instance, the gazelle who's grazing, and then if that gazelle is away from the herd, it looks like an easy target for the lion. Okay, so in regards to survival, you may want to be part of the herd. When it comes to being around a threat, you may want to be part of the herd. But in business and in like your finances and your job and so on and so forth, at times you want to be in front of the herd. Okay, you don't want to be obnoxious. You don't want to have people notice you because you're obnoxious. Okay, you want to be able to be noticed because you're proactive. We're going to go on into that, okay, in these 15 minutes with Rocky. Now, again, you want to separate yourself from the herd, okay, and you want to be like Google, for instance, right? So Google, you start typing something out, and it starts to guess. What is it that you're looking for? Okay, they're being proactive. So that's an example of Google being, proactive. All right. Another thing you do is you type in something on YouTube, and again, YouTube starts to guess, being proactive, what it is, and at times you don't even have to type everything out. My assistant, at times, she's new, she's not very she's new to computers, let's say that way, right? And at times she'll type something out, and in the search bar, right, it starts to spell it out for her, because we've gone to that website before or whatever, and it guess, is this what you want to do? And basically, at times we don't notice that's already there, and we just have to say yes. Okay. Again, that's a software being proactive, and that's what makes it so user friendly, and it just like helps us out. It gives us a lending hand without without us asking, and that's basically this distinguishing point that I want to make, which is you have people, let's say employees or people you're with or friends and so on, but they're not proactive. They're nice friends, they're very nice people, but they need to be told what you need, right? What's your need, or what is it that you're wanting? But then there are certain people in your life which they just know, and they take steps, and by the time you get, let's say, by the time you need it, okay, they're already there with it, and that's a proactive person. And obviously that person starts to separate themselves from the herd. So today I want to talk to you about that, about you being that person, being proactive, using your mind and saying, what is it? How can I best prepare to be of service, to be of value to your community, to your customers, to your friends, to your spouse, to your kids? How can I be that person? How can I be proactive? Now, obviously, to be proactive, you have to find out the person's need, right? You have to be obviously very observant. Be willing, obviously, to serve, right? So, when a person is proactive, let's just back up a little bit. That means that they were in preparation. There was some preparation that was going on. And something about preparation is that preparation can take some time. Okay? So if they were ready to take action before being told, imagine the amount of time of preparation that they had invested, or time they had invested to prepare for the moment that you needed them, such that they were ready. That's the key. They were ready. And many times opportunities do visit us all the time. And often I have to say that it's not that there's a lack of opportunity. There's a lack of readiness on our part, or at least I can speak for myself. I've had a lot of opportunities. It has been that lack of preparation. And if I was not prepared, I definitely could not be proactive. So a precursor for proactivity is being what? Prepared, right? Okay, so how do you become prepared? Be observant, okay? Now, you have to be able to be prepared and anticipate. That's another word. And I highlighted there. You anticipate, okay? You anticipate what's going to happen. You anticipate the traffic. Give yourself extra time, okay? Prepare for success is obviously a cliche that we hear. However, it's so true, especially when you're like really in business and it really means something for you to really get something done correctly, for you to be precise. So for you to anticipate, here I say, you have to anticipate traffic, anticipate Murphy's Law, which is, you know, Murphy's Law, right? Get into the habit of being able to get it, offered help before being asked. But again, you cannot help if you're not prepared, okay? So this is all about being proactive. Now, today, for instance, I work for my House of Magic here in New York City. I actually own it. And we do children entertainment, as you know, you probably know. Children entertainment for kids, face painting, balloon animals, so on and so forth. So I was called by Sherry and Boris, and they were going to do a party at a synagogue. I'm not Jewish, but I have a lot of people from different faith and different, you know, cultures and so on and so forth. And I asked them, where are you going to do it? And they said, well, it's going to be at a synagogue, and it's going to be for Hanukkah, right? So I said, okay. So I remember doing a show about 6 months ago at a synagogue, and I got obviously, you know what this is, right? You know, so the rabbi had given me one of these, and obviously what I wanted to do was I kept it, you know, as a momentum. I'm not Jewish, but I do, you know, respect. So obviously I put the yarmulke on today, you know, in respect, in anticipation, okay? Besides that, what I did was I downloaded some music from Hanukkah, and I also did one thing. Because I was going to a synagogue and I didn't know how orthodox this was, there's certain synagogues that do not allow for one to play music with words in it. And I learned that like 2 years ago. So what I did was I downloaded two types of music. One that was Hanukkah with words, and some that were not. I was also going to do a magic show for them. And again, my magic music usually has words. So this time I just downloaded instrumental music so I can do a magic show without, you know, words. So basically, it was just being proactive, obviously. Just being prepared. So obviously afterwards, not obviously, but afterwards, the impact or the result was spectacular. Okay, how do I know? Well, I got paid, plus I got a big tip. Okay, so basically that's how usually you know. And the parents are saying, you know, wow, what a wonderful, you know, job you did. I remember back when I was a lieutenant with the fire department here in New York City, on the EMS side, by the way. And hello to all our service people, PD, FDNY, sanitation, EMS, and everybody out there who works for the city, and everybody else, obviously. But, you know, being a person that was a lieutenant with EMS, I just, you know, remember those days. So I was working EO, and then I was hired also by recruitment. And I remember that Michelle, which was the assistant commissioner at that time, she had hired me and as one of the recruiting lieutenants. And I went to do. I had to supervise the field personnel that were out there recruiting people. They were doing a phenomenal job. And I remember that I was filling out forms, and I remember that I know a little bit about Excel, and I went and created a form that was just more effective. I believe it was just better. The layout was better, and I started using it. And when I submitted it to Michelle, my boss, she was like, "Oh my goodness, this is such a great, form. Where did you get it?" I just created it. And it was just something simple, it was just not that big, but it was big and impactful and effective for them. You see what I'm saying? So obviously what happened, I separated myself from the herd. I'm not trying to be better. You just want to be noticed in a positive light. That's all I'm sharing with you. See, if you can do that, then you can turn your life around. Things will start having they'll start showing up a little bit different in a more effective way for you. And that's my basically that's what I want to share with you today. Now obviously not all the time was I proactive. Please, I was not proactive. I was not prepared many times, and there was a lot of headaches. Now I'm gonna read my notes here. And by the way, this is not proactive like the skin thing, for the pimples. Okay, just so you know. So not I'm saying they're not bad. I'm just saying that it's not part of this. All right. So basically, I when I had breakdowns, I knew I was not prepared, and definitely I could not be proactive because again, the precursor proactivity is to be prepared. And many of the times that I had a breakdown, I wasn't proactive. Obviously, definitely couldn't be. I was not prepared, couldn't be proactive. Many breakdowns. I say that many times opportunity does knock. I think I said this. Opportunity does knock on your door. My question is, are you prepared? Okay, there will be a person that's going to need your help. Are you prepared to help? Are you observant enough to see that that person has a need so that you can go and be effective without being asked? I remember this story. I had a guy, Wally. He was one of my assistant, and Wally was cool. He would do exactly what I said. He was just, once in a while he didn't, but for the most part, he would do what I said, and I was fine with that until I met BB. Okay, BB was younger than Wally. Now, what happened was that Wally had gotten another full-time job working elsewhere, right? And I said, look, good luck, no problem. Shook hands. BB started working for me. And as a entertainer for children, we do face painting, balloon animals, cotton candy, snow cones, so on and so forth for my House of Magic here in New York City in the Bronx. And basically, when she started seeing how I prepare the face painting and the balloon animals, which I usually do myself, and then she would just help me out, or at least Wally used to. But then she did one thing. She started to notice and observe how I set up. The following day when she came to assist me, the face painting was already set up. And I was like, whoa, that was cool. See, I always set up my own face painting, but she did it this time. She didn't stop there. The following time she saw how I put my brushes, and guess what? In 1 or 2 weeks, she had my brushes down packed and she put them into places. She was catching my eye. She was what? Pulling ahead of the herd. She was becoming indispensable. When I was doing my magic, she was eagle-eyed. She was just looking at what I was doing, looking at the kids. If there was a child that was disturbing my magic show, she would go and just, talk to the child and say, hey, sit down, sit down, sit down. Again, did I ask her to do that? No. She did it on what? Her own. And that's what made her proactive, okay? And not only did she do that, she did that numerous times. Because she just wasn't being proactive. She was proactive. And you have to get that distinction. At the age of 17, and I'm talking about that's how she was. She had the habit of being proactive. So it showed up everywhere she went, okay? And she kept just amazing me. One time after another, after another, after another. Guess what? The first level in my company is basically to be an assistant. And then later on, after like a couple of years and so on and so forth, you learn enough to be an entertainer. She did that in record-breaking time. I think she was an assistant for 7 months, and she started entertaining right after that. You know, amazing, amazing. In the meanwhile, Wally had I don't know, he didn't like the job or whatever. He called me back while BB was my assistant, and he asked for his job back. Now, this guy was good. He followed orders. He always did. But guess what, guys? Who had the advantage here? BB or Wally? Obviously, it was BB. She became indispensable to me, and I couldn't let her go. Number one, it was her job now, but it really made it harder for me to even let her go. If it would have been the other way around, it might have been different. Had BB been that kind of person who was proactive and left, and then I would have taken Wally, and then she asked for her job back, I think I would have told Wally, you know what, she wants her job back, and for honesty, she has senior, you know, she's senior to you, and whatever the case is. And it might have been unfair and unjust. We value everybody the same, but you know what, not everybody, we try to treat everybody the same, but not everybody has the same worth, as you know, in the marketplace. Okay, as people, yes, we're all worth the same thing. But in the marketplace, as you know, as Jim Rohn says, in the marketplace, you're basically paid by the value you bring to the marketplace. Okay, this is my 15 minutes with you. I don't know if it's 15 minutes or so. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been 16 minutes. Until next time, this is Rocky, and good luck and success to you.